going on. I wanted to take a look at a video with this guy. What's his name? Akaash. What? Andrew Schulz sidekick. This dude is such a cornball. I remember when he was screaming on Fresh and Fit and telling them how they immature and they don't get girls. And now all the footage has come out of his girl saying that she wanted to hook up with other people and disrespecting him and avoiding kisses, like literally running away from kisses. It's the craziest thing ever. Let's check out this video where apparently he came out to defend himself for being a punk. I was going to say a different word to start with a B, but you get my drift. Trying to get this video monetized.
Yeah, keep going this. So the husband gets on steroids. He gets fit.
The husband just got really screwed in the whole process.
He's also kind of like a dumb seeming guy. He's manipulated. He's so in love with his wife. He's like so cucked out. He just goes along with everything she wants.
All right, so that was Akaash around 8 months ago. This guy has no self-awareness and is in complete denial about his relationship, even though he basically just described it there. You know, his wife is manipulating him like crazy, and he's so obsessed with her and wants to be with her so badly. He'll put up with her humiliating him every day, making him look like a cock, spending all his money and destroying his career. And she has no shame about it. You know, the whole internet is cooking her husband because she keeps disrespecting him. And it seems like she couldn't care less and honestly probably loves it.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting. Hey, what's up, Black Wolf? How you doing? It's pretty disgusting the way that she even speaks on him. You know he's a public figure. Get your ass off the internet. Why are you trying to be famous? Off of his name, too. And he's someone that's riding off of someone that rolled off of someone. You ain't good enough to meet the lineup. I'll be honest with you. I tried to watch a podcast outside of her saying a bunch of disgusting things. There was no value, right? So this is definitely something that you don't want out there.
Like, she just adds more fuel to the fire every day. It's brutal. There's too much to even keep up with. I mean, like this tweet says, his wife has done more damage to him than any enemy ever could. Like, she even addressed the controversy and doubled down and just said all her haters are jealous, broke losers. And she also had the audacity to say Akaash spoiling her and spending a ton of money on her has had the best return on investment. She claims it makes his life better and her more supportive of him, probably because it just keeps her from throwing a temper tantrum. So the gaslighting here is on another level. You know, Akaash has spent so much money on her, and in return, she's ruining his career. You know, she humiliates him every day. She constantly makes fun of him. She says he smells bad. Kisses. She won't kiss him on the lips. And she even hits on and fantasizes about other guys right in front of him.
That's one of the worst things ever. It was kind of weird because Akaash kind of like was agreeing with it. It seemed like he was down for the iDubbbz treatment. That's nasty work right there. It's not for me. It's not my style.
She has been so disrespectful to Akaash, but yet she still has the nerve to go on her podcast and talk about how him spending a ton of money on her has been the best investment for him. And she really acts like this is a legit theory. Like, the more money you spend on your girl, the better your life will get. And she seriously said,
oh, and also she don't cook or clean or care about him. The only time she's nice to him is on his birthday. And she made a video complaining about how she hates that. And that's the worst day of the year for her. Her husband's birthday, because she has to be nice for him. He don't get gifts. She just don't act like a bitch. What? That was literally what she told us. That's crazy. I think she was the first girlfriend he ever had, too, by the way, as an adult. Which explains, you know, why he's allowing this.
Says it's supported by Chinese physics. So she just sounds deranged. And imagine Akaash having to listen to this every day. It's probably absolute torture. Like, no wonder this guy can't think straight. His brain is probably fried.
Yeah, let me rewind it back because I want to hear what he said. But 100%. He definitely probably like it. It's probably a kink. Hey, what's up, Bidlow? How you doing? But yeah, it's probably a kink for him. He probably loves it.
Absolute torture. Like, no wonder this guy can't think straight. His brain is probably fried from this shit.
Because, like, where the fuck has chivalry gone? Yeah, where has chivalry gone? Like, why do these men who make $60,000 a year talking about gold diggers. You don't have any gold to dig because the guys that are actually in the 1% tax bracket, they.
The hell's wrong with getting 60,000? The hell's wrong with you? So now, oh, that's crazy. That's crazy. Was your husband rich like the whole time? Like, or did he have to get to a certain level where he made money thanks to Andrew Schulz? He's just nut hugging over there. He's thanking Andrew Schulz every second he get. At least he should, because I would have never knew who he was if it wasn't for that. But damn, like that's the type of time you on?
Want to do like the things that my husband and Nav are doing. They want to take care of women. They don't want us to be stressed. They want to be in our divine. They want us to be in our divine feminine energy. I said that investing in your wife.
You said what she got her own? Nothing. I guess this podcast that she just started, but nothing. No, he pays all the bills, pays for everything, and then she was complaining about how the closet was too small. That shit looked like it was a walk-in closet. She was like, nah, it's too cold, like small. You need to get me more with mad space in there.
Is the biggest ROI that you'll ever have. Investing in your wife is not a financial burden because in Eastern physics, this is both in Chinese and like Indian physics and spirituality. Like when you treat your wife like a princess or a queen, you spoil her, you give her stuff, you just let her be able to relax. She gets into this divine feminine energy, this divine feminine aura.
Nigga, if you gonna do that,
she starts taking care of you in a much better way. She's so emotionally supportive of you because
women needs to come with cooking and cleaning. If that's the type of time you want, if we're gonna get on some traditional type of living, then okay, that involves you doing the housework and making sure I'm taken care of in other ways. You catch my drift? Right? It should be not a damn complaint. The house should be spotless. Dinner should be cooked. You know what I mean? It's like these new, I guess you could say, age feminists. They have this thing where it's like, oh, well, I want to be taken care of, but I'm not going to do nothing in return. That's not how that works. Get your ass up and clean some, mop some, cook some, take care of the kids, something, if you want to live that old school traditional lifestyle. Me personally.
So strong in their EQ and how they can take care of men. And like that energy gets rewarded in the universe. It starts coming back to you. And I can say, I'm like a case in point example. Like even before my husband really started making money, he always would find little ways to spoil me, even if it didn't cost that much in the beginning. And now like we've gone from like him buying me like AirPods or like Nike shoes to now like, you know, spending so much money at Miu Miu or Cartier or whatever. And I'm not saying that to be braggy. I'm saying that I've seen this principle like really, really work. And I truly believe that like a man that takes care of his wife is like blessed by the universe.
Yeah, I wonder why she would think that. Like this lady's just a professional gaslighter. I mean, she's proven the exact opposite of that theory. You know, Akaash spent so much money on her and she's just making his life a living hell. She's basically tearing him down to try to launch her own career while still spending all his money. And Akaash is just sitting back, letting it happen. You know, like when all this stuff was exposed, they could have gotten ahead of it if his wife publicly apologized to Akaash for disrespecting him and just said she's being sarcastic or doing a character or playing things up for attention. Because there were some people defending her by saying that. And Akaash probably wishes she did that. But of course, he has no say in that relationship. And obviously, if she walked things back, then it would ruin the career she's trying to build off of disrespecting him. So, of course, she doubled down and said she's just being herself and she's being open and free. And she brags about how many followers she has.
And like how they say, like to be cringe is to be free. Like, okay, if you think I'm cringe, okay, to these red pill guys or these brown girl haters that think I'm cringe, I'm free though. I'm being myself. And I have 160,000 followers now. I only started posting last year. Like whatever you think, like that's good fucking growth.
And Akaash addressed the controversy.
She thinks she getting followers because she's so talented? Is she not aware that she's only getting a following because of who she's married to? And the disrespect that she's doing? Like this is nasty work. Like I don't know why she decided I need a podcast. I don't know why a lot of people decide that they need to start a podcast.
Controversy too at one of his
It's
shows, and of course he's just simping out for her, which I get. It's his wife, and he wants to
How you doing, Chad? How you doing? Hey, what's up, Easy there? How are you?
defend her, but she would never do the same for him. I mean, like I said, she could have tried to walk things back, which would have helped, and I'm sure it's what Akaash wanted her to do, but she doesn't give a shit about what he says. So this guy's down bad. I mean, the way his wife talks about him compared to the way he talks about her, it's just sad to see. I mean, he tries to tell this story to prove that she's not a gold digger by talking about how she was with him through everything, and she even stuck by him when he went broke. But it turns out
that gotta be cap. Hey, what's up, Ren? How you doing? She really thinks she got these followers because of her. That's insane. She is so delusional. She thinks she's so amazing that she got followers off of her name. Straight delusion.
he's leaving out some parts and he's exaggerating to try to make her look better because she tells a different story. You know, Akaash is like, I went broke in 2018 and she stuck by me. But she said she left him and went to India when he went broke. So of course he left that part out. And then also he said when they first started dating, he wasn't making any money. But he's admitted before he was making 6 figures and he was on some MTV shows. So he...
Somebody says, is Nasty Song just a hook or a whole song? It's a whole song. I just don't have it on streaming platforms anymore. But I made a whole song out of it a while back.
Wasn't making a ton of money, but he was doing all right and he was getting publicity. But then he said the shows were canceled, and in 2018, he barely made any money, even though him and Schulz had started flagrant at that point, and Schulz's career was really blowing up. So even though Akaash didn't make much money that year, he knew that podcast was going to be successful and he'd be making money from it at some point. But in the meantime, because his wife or girlfriend at the time kept spending all his money, he didn't have any savings and he couldn't afford his apartment and he went broke, which he claims she stuck with him through all this. But she has a different story, of course, and hers sounds much more believable, you know, because it just sounds like Akaash is doing whatever he can to defend her and make it seem like she's not a gold digger.
Wait, so he came out to try to defend her and told some bullcrap story how she's like a ride or die. And she came out and was like, nope, that's not what happened.
So, of course, he's going to exaggerate and embellish this story. I mean, when he starts this, he even says he's never told his wife this story and she has no idea about it, which is really strange because it's about her. So I don't know how she wouldn't be aware of it if she lived it. And Akaash just makes it seem like is this rags to riches story and his girlfriend was always by his side and she was with him through thick and thin. But in reality, when they met, he was doing all right for himself. He's making good money. He was on TV. And then he had one bad year where he didn't bring in much money and she freaked out and left.
He's there to fuel on your life and all these other things. It's a shitty thing. So I'm going to tell one story that I had never even told her. Honestly, she has no idea this story. My wife and I met in 2014. I was not making much money. I was getting $25 a night doing stand-up. I was on MTV shows that paid dog shit money. If she was a gold digger, I didn't even have 10 to get the bitch, to be honest. But then in 2018, I went flat fucking broke. 34 years old, I probably made $4,000 that entire year. And we couldn't even afford...
Why didn't you get a job? So I'm like, I understand the grind, but if you're not able to pay bills and you're only making like $25 for stand-up, bro, like, I think you underselling them MTV checks, bro. The MTV checks is probably nice. Nice enough for you to survive, for sure.
The living room.
But you wasn't managing your money right. And instead of admitting that you was making mistakes and maybe now that you've improved, coming up with this fake sob story.
We lived in New York City. We had to move out of that apartment and move to New Jersey. And what's even sadder than moving to New Jersey is I had to save up money to move to New Jersey. So we had to stay on her friend's couch for almost a month. We were basically homeless for a month. So I could save money to move to New Jersey. And I remember the night before we went to the couch, we had to stay in our apartment.
There's people that's homeless for years before they could get a spot. You must not have been doing that bad, bro.
We were supposed to have been out by like 12 p.m. We moved everything out. We didn't have a place to stay, so we had to stay there that night. It was just me and her sleeping on a hardwood floor. I'm 34 years old. She's 25 years old. I'm looking at this girl like, man, you could go be with an Indian who's a doctor, like a real Indian. You're a beautiful girl. You have so much ahead of you. Me, I don't know what my life is going to be. I'm 34. I'm fucking broke. This dream might not ever happen, but I'm too fucking moronic to quit. And I have nothing to give her. It's just a life jacket. It's like October. We have nothing. So I hand her the jacket, and she said, "What's this for?" I said, "You can use that as a pillow." And then she goes, "Well, what are you going to use?" And I said, "I'll figure it out." She handed me back the jacket. She goes, "You take this." And then she laid with her head on my chest and her arm around me the entire night. And I remember thinking in that moment, this is why I haven't shared this with her, because I remember thinking, I don't know if I'm going to be able to marry this girl because I'm so broken. I'm in such a bad place and it's a dark fucking time in my life. But I know I will never find.
I don't believe this story for one. But hold on, let me see what y'all say. If she stayed with him though, through that, maybe she has a point. I would have had 2 jobs. He need to have gotten a job. In fact, you know what would solve that? Easy, quick solution. If she got off her ass and got a job, that probably would have got them into that apartment even quicker. If she was pulling her share. Like, what? Get your ass up. You could have worked at a fast food spot and been able to afford something better. Like, that sounds crazy. That sounds nuts. And I'm not impressed that she slept on the floor with him one night. Like, I know people that slept in a closet with their wife for months. I know people that slept in the street with their wife. Like, yeah, that story don't really tell me nothing. It don't impress me. It seemed like he had to dig, and it seems like everything's over exaggerated to make it seem like she's about to die. And clearly, she's not. If you hear how she's speaking now.
A girl that loves me this much ever again. And I will never find a girl who rides for me this hard ever again.
So he's trying so hard to make it seem like it's this wholesome story, and she stuck by him the whole time. She saw the potential in him when no one else did. But it turns out, according to her, when the money dried up, it caused a ton of fights. She got really stressed out about it, and she had a giant fight with his mom and then left to India. And then it sounds like once Flagrant started a Patreon and Akaash started making money again, Akaash went running to India to simp for her again. So
that's crazy. So what did I say? The whole story was fake. She argued with his mom over it and then left. And he had to get his money up and then run and go get her. That sounded like she was riding or dying. I knew it. I knew it was straight cap. That's what I was about to say. Why didn't her ass get a job? Facts. That's like a sure way for them to be able to afford an apartment faster. If she was working and saving, building a career her own, something. But no, she was just chilling, expecting you to still take care of her throughout the whole thing, like not contributing in any way. Yeah, nah. Yeah, that sounds crazy to me. 100%. Said BX with that truth. Thank you. I appreciate the heck out of that. They both could have got a job. I agree. I agree. They both should have got a job.
At his lowest point, she just made his life even more stressful and then left him.
Had like 7 MTV shows. I wasn't making crazy money. I was making like low 6 figures. But my girlfriend at the time, she moved into our place. And then all of a sudden, end of 2017, all the shows started suddenly getting canceled one by one.
We just gonna brush over that? We just gonna brush over that? He was making sick. Why is he acting like he was homeless? Like, for real? He was making 6 figures. Even if that's just a year. What is he talking about? You was never struggling, my nigga. You was never, yeah, you know, I had this low paying, this measly 6 figures. How many you said? For you to just show up a few days and record? Man, shut your ass up. You was never going through it. Nigga, I'm from the trenches. I was through it, nigga. As a teenager in the streets. What is he talking about?
I'm going broke. So 2018, we're doing flagrant. My wife, financially anxious person, is like, what is going on? Like, we're talking about getting married? Is this what it's going to be? I don't have an answer for her. I'm like, this flagrant thing, I think. I believe in this. I believe in this. Then I start wondering, like, am I just saying that because that's all I have left?
Yeah.
And then luckily we started the Patreon because I went so broke we had to. No, Andrew was doing great. Andrew was starting to blow up, to be honest with you.
His started to dry up. He was kind of aging out of the MTV bracket, and he wasn't really getting any attention from the industry. So he was pretty much losing all his income. And at the same time, I was working a really toxic job with like a toxic manager and like working till 2 a.m.
Nigga, his rent should have been paid for years ahead of time, nigga. What are we talking about? Was he living beyond his means? Sounds so crazy. So what's this guy's name? Akaash.
Morning, and it just caused a lot of stress on our relationship. Everything came to a head when my mother-in-law came to.
Facts. These people talking about struggle. Yeah, they don't know nothing about struggle. They're detached from reality. Try real struggle, living paycheck to paycheck. Facts. Right? Or having nothing. Being a child in the streets, having to figure out a way. Me and my friends was like pirates in this motherfucker. As teenagers, living outside. Nigga, sleeping on curves and shit. Nigga, you don't know, struggling until you sleeping in the park and got chased by a bunch of raccoons, nigga. Yo. That's fact stuff. That was the scariest shit ever. It was like I was in a Michael Jackson Thriller video. Like, wow, these raccoons coming towards us.
Visit us. And I was being very distant because of everything we were going through. Akaash was very stressed, and I think she kind of internalized it like that I was being bitchy towards her.
Yeah, y'all said F right. He should have invested and had his own home. I agree. He's making 6 figures. Bare minimum, he would have been able to get a mortgage going. You talking all this for hair done, nails done, Botox, lip fillers, facts. That's money that could have went to the house.
Aggressive towards her. It was a huge fight between all of us. Basically, Akaash did not defend me, and I was like, okay, I don't know if I can be in a relationship with this person anymore.
So after this, we both took a much needed break, and we just needed time to reflect on our own outside of the relationship. I took a trip to India with my mom for my cousin's wedding. Akaash needed to find his voice within the relationship and find his voice between his mom and me.
Finally, a couple months later, I just had this epiphany. We were still getting in fights, but Akaash went on his own trip to India, and my Nana Ji was sick in the hospital. He flew out of his way to go see him in Punjab. I woke up the next day seeing pictures of him, my Masi, and my Nana Ji, and I had this moment where
that sound weird as hell. You break up with me, I'm not going to go hang out with your family. That sound crazy. Yo, that sounds like desperation is what that sound like. Sound like you wasting your money again instead of buying a house.
I was like, okay, I know he's the right one. We're going to make it through this.
And I guess she had a job at the time, so she could have kept working. They could have tried to save some money and just have been
when
more
she was
frugal.
In India?
You know, like if she's really as loyal and supportive as he says, she could have tried to hold down the fort till he got back on his feet. I mean, I'm sure he's still doing stand-up every night.
Wait. So she left him when she was working? As soon as she got a job, she left. And then once he started being able to make more money and take care of her, she came back and quit a job. That says everything right there. She's like, if I'm going to have to work, what I need you for?
Now it sounds like he's a hard worker and he's doing the podcast, which was definitely going to pay off at some point. So if she really believed in him at the time, you'd think she would try her best to help with the bills and support. But it's like that's never even an option, you know, because of course her motto is his money is our money and my money is my money.
His money is our money and my money is my money. So that is actually my number one. They must be generous with their finances from day one.
So once Akaash stopped earning money, it was over, and they're probably fighting every second of every day. And then the final straw was her getting into it with his mom. It sounds like they really went at it. And I bet his mom thinks she's an ingrate. Same thing as Schulz. Years ago, he got into it with her too. So all the red flags were there. I'm sure everybody warned.
I heard about that. I think I seen a clip where she was treating that podcast studio like it was her studio for her to do homework or some bull crap like that. And she caught an attitude when Andrew asked her, like, hey, you know, it's time for us to film our podcast now in the studio that we're spending money on. And she got mad. And then he called out. I remember
him, but he didn't want to listen, and he still doesn't. So all he's going to do is cope. It's going to be wild. But let me know what you guys think, and make sure you subscribe and check out the Patreon. I've been covering Theo.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like, I don't know why people would even put themselves in that situation. Nah, we know why. Desperation. That was his first girlfriend. He lost his virginity to her, if I'm not mistaken. So he's saying whatever he has to say and doing whatever he has to do to get him some play. That's nasty work, fam. Crazy work, too. But that's my opinion. Tell me what yours is down in the comment section. Also, hit the hype button if you're able to. Share the video. All that good stuff. And make sure you're subscribed. Check out shorts. Follow me on Twitch and on Kick.